Welcome back, everyone, to the North American Challengers League. What a game one and a debut from Balulu. We get to see his Zoe, baby.
Dude, he looked so good, right? We have so many players coming in the mid lane in particular. They're going to be tearing it up, right? Amenas was one of the big heroes that we had before. It's pretty obvious that we have to add Balulu to that list now.
Well, all right. I want to introduce you to the halftime show. We're going to play a little game called League by the Numbers. It's going to be very simple, right? I'm going to ask you some trivia questions based on the stats from week one. Every question will have a follow-up for a bonus point, so be sure to be ready for that. And we're going to do this as simply as we can. If you know the answer, just go beep.
Beep. Can we go buzz?
You can go buzz, too.
Can I do this?
You can. I think it might give you a little bit of a competitive advantage, but that's okay. Joshi, you're the big brain anyway. You're the curly caster.
We'll see.
Rafa needs it, right? That's what we're talking.
True.
All right. Let's do our first question. All right. Here it comes. Listen very carefully. Think about it. Don't beep in if you don't know the answer. Which ADC has the better CS per minute currently? That's between these two teams.
Oh, Buzz? Probably
Okay,
Wixie.
Josh.
I guess it's Wixie, just because they've done so well, particularly in the laning phase, that you will generally get enough of a lead to kind of carry it out from there.
Ding, ding, ding. We got our first
go.
point. Wixie at 9 CS per minute. Bonus question, who's the best farming marksman overall?
The best farming? So
the whole
we're defining this as the
challenge
league?
highest CS per minute.
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Rafa, don't let him get both points. You got to give it a try.
I'm blanking on all the names. I'm just like,
Do I get negative points if I guess wrong?
No, you don't get negative points.
Okay, then I'm going to buzz again.
All right.
I'm going to say it's Wixie again.
Wrong there, Rafa. Do you want to try and steal the point?
yeah. I'm going to go with. Oh my god, who's been
I think
dominating?
it's really good.
I'm gonna say. No, it can't be Masu. Like pink. I'll say Masu. I'm probably
Masu?
wrong though. Yeah.
You are incorrect. No one's getting that point. It is going to be Meech. 9.7 CS per minute.
Okay, alright, that's pretty good. 9.7 is pretty wild, honestly. I was thinking it was going to be Wixie, partly because they had that, like, crazy long game. Wait, no, that was CLG. Was it CLG? Yeah, it was CLG that had the... Dang it. I mixed up my team. CLG had that 55-minute game. Those pump up your CS per minute numbers like
I was
nothing
like going
else.
through my head. I was thinking of like Lynx, Lens, and I just started blanking on all of the marksmen.
I have a list that I'm looking at.
All right. On to the next question now. Which player... you already know this stat, so I feel like someone's going to get it quick. This is a reaction time one. Get ready. Had 6 solo kills in week number 1. Yoshi. Bradley. Ding, ding, ding. That is the point. But who had the most overall? Bonus quick.
Buzz.
Oh, I heard it from Rafa.
Menez from C9.
Correct.
We used that one on the broadcast.
I had it prepared before you guys actually used it on the broadcast.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I told you it was going to be a reaction time. Rafa's the better marksman today. I'm sorry. But that's going to be 2 points for Joshi, 1 point for Rafa so far.
Okay. What do we got?
All right. You're not too far off. Okay. Who has 100% kill participation? Only player in the league currently with that stat.
Is it
specifically the jungle role?
Wait, is it limited to these teams?
Yes. Limited to these teams. Ark?
Mirror.
No. Bradley has solo kills. Beep. It's Chad.
No! My brain is mush.
Wrong. It is Mir. We're talking week 1 stats.
Yeah! Wait. You said 100% KP?
Yeah, 100%.
That's not possible if Bradley has solo kills.
How's that not possible?
Because if Bradley got solo kills, it means no assists.
Okay, but you still get kills with your team despite the solo kills.
Wait.
What?
What are you talking about? What's the
If you get a solo kill,
Josh,
that's a kill on the board that does not have any assists, and so it still counts up. with no assists, and
Yeah.
Mir did not participate. I feel lied to.
You know what? I'm gonna double check that one. Second most in the league. Second most in the league. We'll give the bonus point.
I feel lied to.
I said specifically the jungle role as well, by the way.
What does that mean?
It means the jungle role only, man. Only.
Yeah,
We're
hold
only
on.
talking about Mir. We're only talking
I
about
think
Chad.
if we phrased it
that's
as
the case.
highest kill participation, then
I'm
We
pulling
will
up KP
go
right
back
now.
and look. We'll go back and look. Anyway, what's the we'll give it to Mark for now. That's what the answer book said.
You know what? You ruined my show, Josh. You ruined my show. Are you happy? Are you happy?
Have you ever watched like actually? I definitely feel like I'm on that show right now. Actually, Bradley.
You know what, Josh? You lose a point. We're tied.
What?
This is my show. I get to do what I want, man.
Okay.
All right. Which of these supports did not fall victim to first blood in week 1?
Did not get first blooded.
deep
Mark.
him down.
Wrong.
Oh
It's
my,
Joey.
oh my.
For a bonus point, how many first bloods has Joey been involved in?
Oh wait,
So
wait,
first
wait.
one was the victim.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Damn it, misunderstood.
I'm gonna say 2.
Mark, want to give it a shot?
4.
Or Joey has been involved in 0 first blood so far.
Dang.
So it's
okay.
0 for both. All right,
All
wait. Who said Joey first? I got to double check on that.
Joshi,
Joshi said Joey.
because I said kid.
No, you
down.
gave the answer. I didn't say anything. Don't give me points that I don't deserve.
Okay, I'll
Take
take
him away if
I'll
you
take
want.
away another point. I'll take away.
What?
Just another. Actually, I didn't answer the question.
Oh my God.
I'm. You know what? Every time
game
it's
show
a point
music.
that is
Where's our
taken
game
off
show
for
music?
me. Every time a point is taken off for me for messing up, I'm just blaming it on Joey. I'm gonna keep removing points from him. One more, Josh, and you go into the negatives. All right?
Okay. Yes,
All right,
boss. Yes, chef.
Which of these players have experienced 0 deaths in the season so far?
0 deaths.
Buzz.
Mark.
Bolulu.
Correct.
Wait, I thought it was week 1.
I said in the season so far, Josh. You gotta listen to my words.
no.
Hearing, I fear.
Josh.
This is wild, dude.
Yeah, Josh, this is taking me back to last
calm
split with
down.
Sierra's games and how she would
Yeah.
screw me over. I'm getting revenge right now because I'm in the host position, Josh.
You also did way better at knowing my answers than I did of yours. It was not good. It was not good. This is why we
Alright.
got the Hispanic Hermanos coming up today.
All right. Now we're going to add up all our points. I'm going to do some quick calculator work. Josh, you have 0 points.
0? What?
Mark, congratulations. You have 2 points, making you our
no.
winner of the day. How do you do it? You get to cast LCS. You show up over here. You win in a game show. You're on Hotline League as well. Mr. Worldwide, Rafa, how do you have the time?
Tú sabes. Yeah, like you know what it is. It just comes naturally, bro.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Let's get into the topic of the game while we still have a little bit of time left over. I mean, Immortals, the poke, what could you really do about that? The Zoe Forest combination, there's so much damage coming from such a long range.
Yeah, I mean, the way that you beat poke compositions is you beat them before their poke matters, and Team Liquid were on track for that, but it really came around that big play in the mid lane where they picked up, first off, I think it was Kim down, going really aggressive next to the line brush, but also picking up APA immediately after that really turned around the fortunes and accelerated Bolulu coming in right away.
Yeah. To add on top of that, I think considering Chad invested his flash early on to give Bolulu his first kill of the game over to after APA, Bolulu was already starting to get that snowball rolling, and then afterwards it's just Wixie also doing a favor for him as well.
Yeah, and I appreciated some of the early game strats we saw out of Team Liquid. The Blitzcrank Kim down, bringing that one out.
Yeah, I mean, it looked, let's be real, not that great.
It looked good early. It looked good early.
But it looked really tough for Kim Down to kind of pilot later on in the game. I think that's one that they're going to have to put back in the scrim block, and I don't expect it to come out in game 2.
All right, I'm looking at my stats. I did look at the wrong column, Josh. I'll give you a point back, but you still lose at the end of the day. So, Mark, congratulations on your dub. I'm going to let you guys take it over now and continue with game number 2.
All right, well, thank you, Eric. It's, I don't know if I can say whether or not it's been a pleasure or not, but we will have game 2 of Team Liquid Challengers versus Immortals Challengers. And because IMT won game 1, Team Liquid cannot play this game for a win. They can only play this series for a draw. And look at that, no surprise, Zoe first on the ban list.
The respect has been given by Team Liquid Challengers. They say, you know what, Lulu, you had your pop-off debut. We're going to put that in the bag now. But, as we already mentioned before, you specifically, Josh, Lulu, this is not his only champion that, obviously, he's going to be super comfortable on. There's an arsenal of artillery mages in his back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most played champions he's had in 2022 was the Azir, and that's going to be a second ban, the Vel'Koz coming through. Vel'Koz is one of these big counters to Azir, but APA is not like a huge Azir player in the way that I generally look at this guy. It's going to be something that is much more favored for Balulu, and I feel like Team Liquid are kind of going into, like, I don't want to say panic mode, but just like, we need to protect APA. APA kind of got gapped in game 1. We need to give him something where he can actually hold his own up against this player.
Considering the mid laners APA has gone up against so far in his debut week of Challengers, I think Balulu, we can safely say this has been the toughest opponent he has gone up against. So, but Team Liquid Challengers, interesting from Immortals, actually fearing a potential Ashe takeaway from Team Liquid, saying, you know what, you're not going to get that champion, and so they're just going to run back with Maokai. Same old usual.
Yeah. I mean, the Maokai, I think, is still a very strong champion as the Zeri Yumi goes over to the other side. Wixie looked very good, and not a big surprise, the classic answer to it thus far has been the Lucian Nami going over to Arrow and Kim down, and that is something that Arrow has been historically very good at, is playing for the laning phase. And so this is going to be an opportunity for him to kind of strut his stuff a little bit going up against Wixie and Joey, and at the same time, ADD is going to be kind of throwing down the gauntlet a little bit, picking up the Cassante on the 3rd pick red side, and also they're probably going to be protecting it with 2 bans against Bradley. Gangplank the first one, I'm going to expect Jax to be the second.
Yeah. The other big thing for ADD is we know we had some question marks about his first week's performance. Gangplank game 1, not bad. Obviously, you know, he wasn't the star of the show. That was more so Balulu, but an admirable job of just having an overall better showing. Yeah. And we already know from multiple Challengers League players, and even in LCS as well, Fudge himself having massive performances on this character. I mean, Cassante is just someone that is so difficult to deal with.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be an interesting position for ADD, right? He's the supporting character, as we were talking about before, Mark, where ADD comes through and we will see what they can actually do. Going up against Bradley and kind of fighting Bradley to a standstill with the help of the rest of the team is definitely something that is pretty decent, but a 4th ban getting thrown towards Balulu's way, and they are still going to have counter pick regardless of what it is that APA plays. Not a whole lot of surprises from the rest of the draft, and I feel like whatever APA picks is going to be one of the biggest signals about how Team Liquid want to actually try and play this, because this is much closer to the standard meta that we've been seeing that everybody has been describing as stale. No shot.
Yeah, once again, Team Liquid have gone for non-committal, long-range engage and disengage. This time, Tidal Wave on deck for Kim down, and of course, the Maokai. Looks like APA wants to run back to Taliyah. He wants to go for the roaming plays, and it makes sense considering that you have the Lucian Nami because you need a way to shut down the Zeri and Yumi before it comes online later on.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot better positioned this time because one of the toughest counters in the entire game for Taliyah has been the Zoe. It is now off the table, but it's also a situation where we look at the Team Liquid composition, and their engage is still a little bit difficult to pull off in the first place. You don't have your first pick, and oh boy, Bradley's got that dog in him as he brings out the Nasus once again in the top lane. Now, I'm going to be straight up, Mark. I have not seen this character played. I have not seen this matchup played thus far, so this is going to be my first time seeing it, and on my first pass, looking at it, I'm not super convinced that the fact that Nasus will actually be able to hold a lot of aggression going to Cassante, especially after Cassante kind of scales into the game, because Nasus is not a scaling character, you guys. Nasus is a mid-game character. Between levels 6 and 13, when you get your first item, this character is absolutely nuts. But if you don't get rolling, it's in many ways just there to be a wither if Wixie ever gets too close.
Well, I am always down for the dog being let out. And Bradley, I think the only other person in our Challengers League that has done it in the past was Concept for Golden Guardians. And I mean, that was a hell of a game to watch back in the summer. So we're going to see if Bradley can flex his creative muscles into this matchup, because I'm not going to lie, Josh, Cassante has been out for quite a while. Sometimes when I watch this champion work, I still don't understand how it does so much damage while building full tank. But Immortals Challengers, they wrapped up their draft with Syndra, and this is more of a standard pick, not as spicy as we saw from the Zoe.
Yeah, I mean, it really is going to be very focused on two players for Team Liquid Challengers in Bradley and APA, who've been setting up quite a bit throughout the season thus far. But on IMT, right, we've seen this exact formula come through, and they were playing with Ablaze Olive. It's you get Wixie ahead on the Zeri and allow him to pop off, but he's got to be very careful with his range. So if he gets hit by the Wither, if he gets hit by the Root coming up from Mirror, there's not a whole lot left for Wixie to actually do, and you notice that there's no cleanse coming out. So Wixie is really saying, I trust myself, Joey's going to build me a Mikhail's later on in the game, and that is going to be how we actually win this early game.
I mean, even during last year, I want to say it was spring, when the Zeri was kind of seeing her first immersion as one of the top-tier marksmen. You'd see some creative Nasus support with Senna bot lane strategies. And the concept still applies, even if it's not in the laning phase, as you mentioned. Yep. Once we get to that mid-game, if Bradley is there, Wixie, you don't want to be near this dog. But for the beginning of the game, as you already pointed out, game plan for Team Liquid. Get Arrow online. Try to shut down Wixie as much as possible before that late-game scaling comes online.
Look at this, ADD coming in to double check on where the jungle is actually going to be starting. We'll see that Mirror is going to be starting on the top side, so won't be doing the same 3-camp clearing to gank bottom lane, but they saw Wixie and Joey walking into the jungle, but they don't know where Chad is, so I wonder if Arrow and Kim Down will be willing to go for anything. The fact that the Lucian Nami gets to start this far up in the lane is actually a pretty big win for them.
Oh, and Wixie dodging out on the Ardent Blaze means that he slightly wins out on just that early push, but for Immortals Challengers, now the question is going to be, how does Chad path as well? You said that they didn't really get information on where he started, but now the question is, does Chad want to expedite his route towards the bottom lane ASAP so that he can show for that level 3 timer?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a player that we were always watching. He was one of the few junglers last year that was consistently looking for it in fades. And now, a little bit harder, right? I've heard from a lot of junglers, you don't get to play anything fun. There's not a lot of duels that you can potentially go for. But Chad's the kind of player who might make that happen anyway. So, go for a clear on the top side of the map. Look at the amount of vision that IMT have already set up in Mir's jungle. It's so much more difficult for him to do anything surprising against the other team.
As our wonderful observer, V-Flight on deck. Shoutouts to him.
Hashtag V-Flight victory.
Ooh, I like that hashtag.
Same as victory, so
yeah.
Very easy. Cool. Anyway, as we get back into the game a little bit, you see very similar clears from both sides, and APA doing a much better job so far on the Talion. They're not getting pushed around to the same degree. At the same time, the map seems to be going quite well for IMT. The top lane gets the wave to actually crash, which will bring Nasus out of his turret range later on in the lane. And the bottom lane, Wixie and Joey doing quite a good job as well in the bottom side. Now that Arrow and Kim Down are getting close to level 3, that's when they really become scary, but they don't have the lead, and they're actually a little bit behind right now, which is not something that we were expecting from this roster.
And check this out, because of the vision that you talked about already, they know that Mirror should be on the bottom side of the map. He's going to be level 4, but does Chad... Did Chad get spotted? Okay, he does.
For sure. I mean, at this point, it is still a good position for the Immortals bottom lane. Wixie and Joey are definitely in control of this bottom lane for a little while, but Mir also doing a good job clearing out all of these camps, and Chad is going to be the one who's a little bit behind in terms of what they're actually clearing out, and Mir is creating so much safety by throwing out his children into these bushes.
It's just one of the more oppressive things about Maokai jungle this patch right now. Damn, those things are terrifying. I never want to... I appreciate the zoom in. That thing's going to haunt me in my nightmares. But for Team Liquid Challenger, you know, Mir just taking a very safe approach because of the insane clear speed that Maokai also offers. I think we know that Chad was trying to be there just in case Mir looked for an opportunity to stave it off, but he delayed one camp, so it's slight tempo advantage over to Mir. He's already back on the map again. As now top lane getting a little dicey. Bradley might be forced to ghost at some point, but actually fine. I take that back.
Holding his nerve, and now Mir's coming around behind. No flash on ADD.
Okay, Mir, you got to decide if you want to fully commit to this one. ADD getting locked up by the Twisted Advance, and nice first blood for Team Liquid Challenger to Bradley.
Dude, okay. Chad?
He's got aftershots, a little bit of resistances. Should be fun. Oh, Twisted Advance goes all the way under the tower. Oh, it's a 1-for-1 in the end.
Ultimately, though, that's so many buffs falling off, and they get the wave underneath the turret as well, so ADD can't freeze it, man. Mir is so good at holding his abilities for the right moment, and we'll take a bigger look at that, but so far, this is Bradley getting accelerated on the Nasus, and that's going to be the big win coming through for Team Liquid. It was looking to be a rough laning phase, but giving them a kill and an assist means that they continue fighting it. I'm honestly impressed. Bradley holding his nerve here and holding onto enough mana so that when Mir comes through and inadvertently dodges the Q coming out from Chad, watch when Mir actually uses the root here. He waits until ADD is going to be taking the full duration of the sands coming through from Bradley, and after that, I mean, it looks like Chad might have enough damage. Mir's W is already coming up relatively soon, and he waits in order to get Chad in a position where they can't really leave. Chad forced to flash, and yes, Mir trades the kill, but they complete the first objective of actually getting the wave under the turret.
Yeah, and it's why Chad was there in the first place, right? Trying to trade as much as his health to hold the wave in place so that maybe there was a freeze angle, but props to Mir for giving his life over so that Bradley has a better turnout and recall on the back end. And we're still in an even state, you know, no huge snowball popping off anytime soon, but because ADD, no sums down, level 6 for APA, now if he can find that shove opportunity and roam towards the top side, you know, it'll be easy peasy.
Yeah. This is where we need to start looking at Bradley potentially having more opportunities for play right now. This really starts to shine when you get the first item and have level 6. They got this chain so they could potentially look for duels, but him down and Arrow, they don't have a lot of mana.
You called in, and Wixie, recognizing that they have a little bit of a combat advantage to just push in this wave. I'm a little surprised that we are not seeing as much focus on the bottom side of the map, but I think it's just good timing from Chad preventing any early stuff from Mir, and so now the focus has been directed towards that top side.
Yeah, I mean, both junglers did come towards the bottom side earlier on. Mir does have the ultimate now, but I mean, it's very tough to actually get through Wixie, and you know that there's a ward in the brush. So this looks like another lane gank opportunity coming out from the Korean jungler.
Sneaky, sneaky stuff. Working his way through the lane.
That's mid.
That's not level 6, so he can't long-range engage onto APA anytime soon. Look, APA is just... That's Balulu getting a little shadow from Chad to make sure that if APA wanted to go all in, he could be there to punish. APA is now looking for a bottom lane potential here. We talked about Weaver's Wall. Maybe it was going to be used for topside, but they turned their attention and... Damn, just fight! I want to see some action. I keep seeing inklings towards it, and they're like clicking towards it. It's like, okay, do we want to think about a play? But probably in comms, Arrow and Kim Downs just saying, no, we just got the wave in. It's all cool, man. Thanks for the hover.
Yeah. I mean, Immortals, they are very happy to play most of this early mid-game for a draw, right? As long as Wixie and Joey are in a position where they are not super far behind, they will be stronger than Lucian Nami later in the game. Same thing with Balulu on the Syndra, right? When you start getting more and more Syndra dollars, you become so incredibly strong and execute people. Now they look for Chad.
Chad doesn't have flash, and he's in a world of hurt. Only way out is forward, potentially, but nice lockdown from Team Liquid. Gonna take out the jungler for Immortals, and that means it's free takings on the Rift Herald.
It's free real estate. It's a free Rift Herald, right? Balulu using the ultimate in the previous gank was the difference between APA living and dying in that situation. But Team Liquid, now they're taking more control of the game. They have this Rift Herald. They are... Oh, what are they doing? What are you up to? Joey! Oh, he's got a Balulu. He's fine.
I wonder if that was intentional from Team Liquid bot lane to split up.
No.
After that blast.
there's no shot.
Oh, they cut off Balulu. I mean, well...
Yeah. I mean, you know, people are going to back away. Wixie's going to, you know, trade a little damage and be forced to stay for a little while. But overall, a couple things are happening. One, I'm still unsure exactly how to evaluate this top lane, right? Because Nasus is not a champion that is particularly popular right now. And going into Cassante, the fact that it's losing, I'm still unsure how well they will interact now that Bradley should be able to back away and will probably get his Mythic online fairly soon. That's when we start looking at Bradley and say, hey, how effective are you going to be on this Nasus? We see a 2v2.
Lost Chapter versus Tidal Wave, both able to disengage their marksman away from safety. Arrow was forced to use the flash, though, and Quen's already down. If I'm Immortals right now, I'm pinging my jungles like, yo, next time Cease and Desist is up, come bot lane. We got this guy.
Yeah, and Wixie's going to have an opportunity to push in this wave as well, and so the big thing will be whether or not Immortals will choose to keep their bottom lane around for this upcoming dragon. It's the first dragon of the game, around 10 minutes, but that's a big deal for the ability for Team Liquid to kind of scale into the game. If they can start getting these dragons ready to go, they will have much better time matching some of the scaling coming out from IMT.
Immortals not fully going for the dragon quite yet, but trying to make their way to get vision control. But then again, you are playing against Maokai, and that is always so damn frustrating. So you got freaking saplings everywhere, and they just chase you out. And like, please, just get off me. It's like tiny little gremlins just chasing you.
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it! Victor! 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 I don't want to look at it anymore.
Yeah, look at this. IMT potentially coming in force, but very difficult for them to move. APA is caught.
Over the wall, but Chad has a cat with him, so they have plenty of damage.
Here's the cavalry.
To try and save APA. Don't tell me it gets out, right? Wixie ensures that he goes down, and Chad might have bought himself some time to... No way. Okay. All right, Mir will find him. It's a trade. Yeah. 1 for 1. APA does go down. That's Wixie's flash gone, and that actually opens up Team Liquid to take this dragon if they want it.
But they were already doing the dragon when APA kind of got caught, right? This has been one of the things that Immortals have been preying on, is APA's kind of been playing off to his side, and they can attack him first. Chad just going forward, looking for these opportunities, but on the bottom side, you can still see that Wixie and Joey, they're holding their own up against Arrow and Kim down. They are still even to ahead in a situation where they're supposed to be playing for to just go even. So, Team Liquid, they're not out of the woods yet. They definitely still need to be trying to find more plays here. And I feel like Mir's doing just about everything he can, right? He's looked towards the top side. He's looked towards the bottom lane. The only lane he hasn't been playing to this game is mid.
Curious if Team Liquid are putting a lot of confidence to APA to be self-sufficient and try to get out of his lane on his own terms, on his own dime. But, I mean, Chad has not really allowed APA that freedom. They know that Wixie's flash was burned down, and you criticized it before, called it into question in prior games. This time, it is punished by Team Liquid Challengers.
Yeah, Team Liquid playing towards the bottom lane. Again, Mir helping out Arrow down here, giving them 2 kills. That's going to be multiple plays, potentially the entire structure, and you immediately see Chen Balulu coming down to try and potentially save this, and they have the teleport coming up from EDD if they want to try and go for a full fight.
Unfortunately for Arrow, it's not going to be... Oh, okay, he's still in range. I always...
Yeah. It's not about the range, it's about like how recently you damaged it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, lots of money going over to Arrow, lots of money going over to Mir as well. 3, 1, and 3. 100% kill participation in this game, even if it's not the entire season, Eric.
Wait. You can't hear Eric on our back end, but Josh is just giving him a snarky comment. Take a look at the replay. Remember how we talked about when Immortals bot lane burned Arrow's flash, and, you know, normally you would think, hey, jungler, come
Come.
Right now, bot lane has no flash. That didn't happen from Chad because they committed to mid lane. This time they do the same thing, but Team Liquid say, Mir, gank this guy right now.
Again, one of the things that I am so excited about Mir is we don't have a lot of players that are as good at punishing cooldowns in both the macro and micro sense in the entire league, right? Mir will punish flashes better than anyone else. Mir will hold his abilities until the right time better than almost anybody else in the league, and so being a big part of this game thus far, also creating some zoning, throwing down his children once again in order to allow Arrow to push out this lane.
Cease and desist is available for Chad.
There's Appa.
But you gotta be careful when you are Vi on the solo engage, because yeah, you can bring a cat with you, but if it gets too dicey, you don't have a way out of there, so Immortals have to pick their engages intelligently.
Appa.
They've isolated APA. Lost after. Root from Seismic Shove stops him in his tracks. Arrow's able to come over the wall, and this time APA's got friends ready and available to back him up. Nice double picked up for Team Liquid.
Yeah, they've been trying to get these picks onto APA. He's been caught a lot in that exact corridor across the entire season, but this time Team Liquid stands strong. And again, gotta praise Mir for his willingness to go after Joey. He's got the right target selection as part of why he's been doing so well. They finally pick up the first dragon. Team Liquid, they have leads pretty much everywhere they need it. The one place that we're kind of looking at Immortals to really bounce back is the star of Game 1, Balulu, not out of the game yet. He's still a huge scaling threat, and ADD in this Cassante, I mean, we've seen what this champion can do when piloted to its full effect. But is the gold lead too big? That's going to be the question. Can Immortals continue to scale? This dragon comes in very late.
We looked at the Game 1 when Immortals started bouncing back and really coming online in that mid game. They only had a 3,000 gold lead, but it just based on the composition and the way it worked out, it was over for Team Liquid. Very hard for them to come back. Team Liquid this time, they are rocking a 3,000 gold lead themselves, but is it the same situation? Is there still ways for Immortals to play around this?
There are still ways for Immortals to come back, right? They still have tools to actually get fights started in their favor on their own terms, which was something that Team Liquid were really lacking last game. So you can never count out Balulu standing in a brush and getting a stun on 3-4 members. You can never count out Chad finding the right target. And if they can't get to Wixie, Team Liquid are going to really struggle in fights once Wixie gets that third item. But we're still about, 15 minutes away from Wixie really hitting that point of becoming a big problem. So Team Liquid, again, they have about 15 minutes to put themselves in a position where they are winning before the Balulu Syndra and Wixie Zeri become too much of a problem.
You talked about how Balulu had a decent CS advantage over APA. Mir donating some chicken nuggets, and probably will be for the rest of the game, because Mir is almost to the point of where all the items that you need on Maokai is just right there. Demonic Embrace already completed. The Radiant Virtue will soon follow. And then at that point, I mean, you just got to stand in front. You got to be a tank. You got to be the big tree that you are.
I mean, we're seeing Arrow doing Arrow things. Pew, pew, pew. Bing, bing, bing.
Nice footwork from Wixie. Dodges out on about half of the calling, so isn't forced to give up the turret pressure yet. But already they shoved out the mid lane, and the rest of Team Liquid making their way towards the top side of the map. ADD should be safe here, but this gives Team Liquid an opportunity to further encroach into the top side jungle, where, as you already see, vision is being planted by Team Liquid.
Yeah, Team Liquid, they're taking control of the top side so well. It's very difficult for Chad to kind of create plays with the way that we've kind of yin-yanged this mid lane, where different teams have controls of different halves of it, and you can't really chase because you don't know. Like, you can suspect that there are probably people in that bush, but you just never know who and how many are actually going to be there, and they can be there at a moment's notice. And so I'm expecting Immortals will probably have to give up a lot of the map for a little while. It's probably going to be another dragon going over to Team Liquid around the 20-minute mark. And, again, about 10 minutes after that is really when they will come back online. But one of the things that you oftentimes run into is, I don't know if I'm strong enough. I haven't fought them in 10 minutes. We just kind of have to see.
Sometimes you need a quick vibe check, which is what Immortals are doing right now. It's like, hey, let's throw out some tools. We still have a couple minutes before the dragon comes out. Cease and desist is still available for Chad. It's a flash burn. Ike him down. That fish could look juicy the next time Immortals are in range, and there's not enough Team Liquid members to save Kim down. from being overextended.
Victor, how much health does that turret have?
Stand by.
Stand by. Click on it. 70 HP on that structure. That is a huge difference in the ability to actually open up, and it's a little bit of gold. If that's the difference between one of the players on Team Liquid having their second item complete and not for this upcoming dragon fight, that could be the impetus for Immortals to actually try and make this play happen. But look at this. As always, we always got to give credit to people. They are getting their backs in at the right time. They're making sure they can spend as much gold as they need to. And so, I think we're actually likely to get some kind of scuffle around this upcoming dragon, where Immortals, where even though they can't necessarily fight for it, they can still push and prod and ask Team Liquid if they're going to make a mistake. And that's one of the things that Team Liquid last year never did. They almost never gave teams opportunities to come in for these fights later on because they were always playing fast. They would say, you're going to come fight us, you're going to be near us, okay, we're going to find the angle, we're going to go for these big flanks.
Nice chunk from Arrow once again. Wixie is going to sustain off of some zoomies in a few seconds. All right, we get it. Whoa, whoa. Nature's Wrath actually is going to force Wixie off of this tower. They're going to go for more. They're using the pressure, knowing that Dragon is coming up in 15 seconds, thinking that Chad was looking for ways to set up vision safely for Baloo to come through bot lane, and they say, hey, we know we have the numbers advantage here. We just got 2 turrets for free.
That is a big expenditure, and APA might get caught.
Okay, can he get out alive? Balulu looks for the pick, but it's not enough damage yet. The vibe check does not quite pass for APA to go down.
And that's Balulu's ultimate not going to be available. And now Team Liquid, they are moving people around. Remember, Bradley has the teleport available, as does ADD. But neither of them have great flank wards. It is going to be kind of these two teams bashing their heads against each other. And look at this, Bradley teleporting deep.
ADD is getting turret damage, so Immortals, you have to decide, hey, if you want ADD to be in this fight, you better either get off the dragon and let ADD get a tower, or you need to get out alive. And I think they're committing to the tower push, and they're giving up the dragon, but Balulu doesn't have flash. He already burned it, but Bradley pops the ghost. Arrow comes in with the Gale Force. The dog is in him, all right. Wixie and Chad now to fight their way through. ADD coming in for reinforcements. Can they find the AD carry? No, Wixie goes down. ADD bursts down APA, and he's all outing on top of Mir, but that's just the tank. You gotta worry about Arrow, who comes in. Mir goes down. Nice shutdown gold over to ADD, but big win for Team Liquid as they knock down 3, and they're taking the dragon on top of it.
That's a shutdown. Mir goes down, so ADD gets an influx of gold as well. Team Liquid, they're happy to pick up this dragon, but that might have been enough coming out from Team Liquid, or from Immortals, to allow them to get to that crucial 30-minute mark. It is not the most obvious way for Immortals to actually take that fight because Bradley is just so fast, able to run down Balulu with no ultimate at all. And so, we're going to see another opportunity for these teams to kind of clash around the Baron. Now that the entire team has no teleports, they're going to have to go up to the top side of the map.
Blue has a little bit of time to knock out what ADD was working on in that turret, so a little bit of gold, but...
yeah. Look at this, Balulu. Where does Balulu go at this point? And so the one thing from Team Liquid is because this fight becomes so split, you see that EPA and Arrow kind of move aside. It means that EPA kind of gets jumped on pretty quick here because the rest of the team is moving elsewhere. And so Bradley, one of the strongest members right now, comes in. He just, bonks a bunch of people on the head, and ADD finds a 1v1 on the Cassante. This fight was super, super chaotic, and that's something that can play into Team Liquid's hands later.
Tough situation for Immortals in that fight. I don't want to speak too much on their behalf, but I feel like a little bit of indecisiveness of how much they wanted to commit to the play, not really keeping tabs on where Bradley could have shown up. And it cost them. Chad still has flash to play with, but it's a lot of lockdown flashing away.
Oh, no.
Nice ball break over the wall. Can't say the same about Balulu. He had a pop-off game on Zoe in game 1, but this time around it is Team Liquid that had the advantage, and now they're looking to burn down the Baron.
Yeah, very, very difficult for IMP to even walk into this one. APA now playing Gatekeeper Girl Boss, and we'll see. I mean, we saw Def get a big steal last night. Will Wixie be able to recreate it?
Chad and Wixie, can they do it? Can they find a miracle? ADD burst his way into the pit, but AP and Arrow are taking out Chad onto the backside, but now Mir and Bradley are in trouble, all out from ADD. There's no jungle on either side to take down the Baron, so now it's just down to the remaining 3 members. ADD, can he burst them down? He finds APA! I mean, Kasante is hella strong, but Arrow's just that much stronger. Ace for Team Liquid Challengers.
8-0-5, Arrow coming through a massive performance on this Lucian so far this game. This is such a different look for Team Liquid Challengers going into this one. They managed to pick up the Baron, but it's only going to be on 2. I'm actually really impressed with how well IMT are fighting these situations man down. Bululu got caught before the bottom side fight. Bululu gets caught before this fight, and IMT still come in a 4v5. They trade a couple of kills. They are keeping themselves in a position where it might be playable, but Arrow, the one player who is saying no. He's had so many problems in the past getting caught out, but now he's the one doing the catching.
We had big expectations for him through this upcoming week because in week 1 during the debut, it seemed like everyone on Team Liquid was having a standout performance, and it seemed like Arrow was having the weakest individual performance for them in week 1, but this is a game where Arrow really turning up the heat and paying back dividends on all the resources that Team Liquid invested into this early game.
Yeah, ADD taking a lot of damage. Arrow so close.
Nice stun from Bululu. Keeps Team Liquid at bay. But Immortals, they're staring down the barrel of almost, not quite 10k. 8,000 gold. That's pretty damn difficult to come back from.
Yeah, and Bradley has done enough during his normal power spike that he is still a problem because of the number of melee champions that IMT have, as well as the fact that they're so good against Wixie in particular that Nass just hasn't fallen off just quite yet. They don't have the tools as Mira goes for an ultimate.
Oh, and the Weaver's Wall is going to cut them
caught.
off. They're going to be pinned under the tower. Now, does someone want to go for the dive? You have Mir. But they're just looking for long-range spells, just poking out Immortal Challengers under the tower before one gets juicy enough for the picking. But it's all going to be dependent on Mir or APA to see if they can find the pick.
Yeah, the range is short enough coming out from Team Liquid that the siege isn't the easiest thing for them to actually go for. And so, they get half of the turret before they have to back away and look for a different wave to play with. And they're going to be going into the mid lane rather quickly. They can also shift towards the bottom side of the map where there is an Ocean Soul that they can start playing for. They are 2 dragons away. This would give them a lot more tools in an upcoming fight, but ADD, you're so far forward, my guy.
He's pops Ghost. Alright, well, Wither traded for Ghost. Not always the best feeling in the world when your summoner spell is exchanged for something that's like, what, 8-9 seconds at this point for Bradley?
Yeah, it's super short, and now they're going to be lining up and actually going for the siege. APA can pick up the opposing blue buff, and it means that they are going to be very pressed to actually try and defend this, and this is going to be another influx of gold coming out as they use the Nature's Grasp again to zone.
Okay, Nature's Wrath in tow. They lock down two.
Chad
presses on forward. Chad forced to run away. And now the rest of Team Liquid Challengers laying waste to siege on this base from Immortals, and there's just so little that they can do here.
Yeah, they just walk forward. They do enough poking and Mir, creating a lot of space for the rest of the team. Oh, and they just go. He's too far forward. He's alone.
Just gotta try ADD. Teleporter right behind them. Has the flank. If you find Arrow to make something out of nothing, Wixie has now the potential to carry this fight, but Bradley is a big dog, and he's already got the Wither on
it's
one.
The dog.
He still has Flash. Uses it. Has barrier now. Only one last defensive tool before the rest of Team Liquid can make their way through the base of Immortals Challengers.
Okay, the inhibitor goes down. Team Liquid should have to back out here as APA will be able to leave, but a great teleport flank coming from ADD allows them to get that huge shutdown as they eat the rich for the first time. But now Team Liquid need to back up. The Ocean Dragon is still available, and IMT cannot contest that one.
Really clutch stuff from Immortals Challengers. They still lose an inhibitor, but it could have been so much worse considering that Arrow being picked off by them allows them a little bit more time to stall out this game, but it's still so difficult to come out from.
True. Nearly 10,000 gold lead still. The base is opened up. We got a Baron spawning in about 2 minutes coming through from the Baron buff, for the Baron buff, and now IMT are going to be looking for something. They are very close to that 30-minute mark. You got 3 items already coming out on Wixie. You got nearly 3 completed on Bululu. at this position. It is a very tough position for them to actually try and make things happen just because of how far ahead the Team Liquid members actually are. So, watch Wixie in this upcoming fight. If he gets hit by that Wither, if he gets hit by any crowd control from Mirror APA, it's probably going to be lights out for Immortals. Whereas Team Liquid, they can take this fight front to back. The teleport flank already came through for ADD. You don't get to do that twice.
Here we are, Josh, at the crossroads. Team Liquid, just one more play separating them and knocking out the Nexus for Immortals. When we look back at how Game 1 turned out, awesome stuff to see from Immortals picking up their first win, right? But this is kind of back to business of what we were expecting from Team Liquid off of such a dominant week 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great draft coming through from IMT, but Balulu on this Syndra, like, he looked fine, right? But it's not the situation where he was popping off and his APA cuts the team in half. This turret should be next.
Nice stun from ADD. Takes out the minion wave before the rest of Team Liquid can really lay damage on that wave. But, I mean, there's always more minion waves coming through. And 3 dragons to Team Liquid's name. Even if they're not able to end the game off of this push, they still have more objectives to play through, so we're going to be here for a while, folks.
Yeah, and imagine trying to contest a Baron after Maokai has been able to set up the entire jungle with these saplings. It's so difficult. Every time you walk into one, you're going to be taking a big chunk of damage. So by the time Immortals get over here, Chad might be the only one who will get here in time to even go for a steal. It's blind.
Oh, valiant attempt. I respect
There's Bradley.
Unfortunately, it's just not enough time. Mira has already secured the Baron.
Uh-oh, Bradley's in.
From the right flank, Wixie, no summoner spells before. He is the prime target. And now it's just easy pickings for the rest of Team Liquid to take out Immortal Challengers members one by one. Arrow gets caught out a little bit, but he's still got Bradley in his back pocket. Okay, you know what? ADD, nice. We take the small dubs where we can get them, knocking out Arrow, but it should just be easy pickings as Team Liquid finally rout out all 5 members. The ace will come through soon. Bradley, yeah! He got that dog in him. Just a little bit of the dubstep. Emote animation canceling on top of it as well. Team Liquid, they're having a fun time. They're ready to close out this game.
I'm surprised. I thought this was the team that wasn't allowed to trash talk at all, but they know the game is ending on the other side of the map as Bradley going to be smacking it down with the game. They finally pick it up, and AP will be able to join for the family photo. So, I mean, Team Liquid, yes, they pick up this game, but we got to see some really impressive stuff from Immortals that actually gives me a lot more excitement for the rest of their season here in the LCS Challengers, just because Balulu looking so good. Game 2 didn't go their way, but they have another player from which to play through. They were very focused on the bottom lane before, but they have another mid laner, and getting a draw, getting a 1-1 against Team Liquid Challengers, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, Team Liquid have already emerged as one of our top teams going into the LCS Challengers League so far. And I think, you know, while 1-1, Team Liquid Challengers, you know, grateful that they bounce back after that one. Immortal Challengers can also have something to be like, hey guys, you know what? We got to win. It's something to work with moving forward. But for us, we're going to be taking a short break. When we come back, it is interview time with Team Liquid Honda Challenge. Hola, and welcome back to our Verizon post-game interview. It is APA, mid laner for Team Liquid Honda Challengers, who bounced back after a very, very dominant Game 1 from Immortals Challengers. Just first thoughts coming to APA. This was Balulu's debut performance on the LCS Challengers League, coming in from the Turkish League. What were your kind of first impressions of him?
He's performed better than a lot of the other mids I faced. But in all honesty, I think Game 1 we lost to ourselves rather than to Immortals. So, I mean, nothing special.
Okay. Oh, ooh. Well, so then if you had to do like a quick... You don't have to power rank every single mid laner in the LCS Challengers League, but, you know, if you have to do a top 5, you know, who are the top 5 mid laners that you really want to be playing against?
I haven't faced them all yet because we've only scrimmed like a few selected teams.
Sure.
But I've yet to face MNS either in scrims or match. So I mean, I've heard he's really good. After that, Balulu, and he played really well today. He performed better than a bunch of the other mids we've been scrimming. And after that, I mean, it's hard to say. I haven't played them all, so hard to gauge them all.
right, Eminez and Balulu at the top of your list so far. Well, enough about them. More about you, APA, because this has, for any longtime APA fans, this has been a 2, 3, 4-year grind to finally make your debut in the now dubbed Challengers League. You know, what has been your impression so far now that you're here in LA coming from the Midwest?
Well, I don't explore much of LA so far. Like, the most I've done is like small walks with teammates. Sure. But man, I kind of just play League all day, so it's not the biggest difference.
Grinder as always. But you know, even on your off days, I've heard that you guys have the option of having some free time to yourselves or getting more scrim time. What do you guys usually opt into?
Well, for example, we had our matches Saturday and Sunday last week, and we scheduled to have an off day Monday. And then Spawn or Jake asked the entire team, and I believe all of us but one said we wanted to scrim. So I mean, we all like grinding on the team.
It's awesome to see when everyone buys into the same work ethic and the same culture. I think the LCS team as well mirrors that very same one. I know, I mean, Jan, infamous for being just a heavy grinder. Would you say that both you and him are kind of like staying the latest at the compound? Is there anyone else also staying late with you guys?
I think me and Arrow normally stay like the latest on the academy team.
Sure.
I know we generally leave at like 1 or 2 a.m. after we play like solo queue to then. And then normally there's at least 1 or 2 LCS guys still in their room.
Team Liquid as a whole, just working hard, and I know you have been an infamous, notorious Champs 2 grinder. It's not up at the moment. We're just waiting for all the qualifiers to come through. But for you, I know you said you haven't really explored the LA area so far yet, but for what have you explored so far? What are some of your favorite spots that you hit up?
I mean, honestly, it's been a lot of Uber Eats, so it hasn't really been spots. It's been more so just like enjoying the food. Okay. I think Bradley talked about it last time, but a place called Hi Ho, their burger was really good.
Burger place.
Main Chick, their chicken is really, really good. And I think today later, a lot of us planned, or at least on the Challengers team, we planned to go out to like have dinner together.
Oh yeah. You always got to get that team bonding in for a little food and resources. Now, before I let you go, APA, I want to give you the opportunity to shout out anyone on your team, or if there's any other, perhaps on your jersey, some sponsor shout out.
Obviously, shout out to Honda right here.
Huge.
Shout out to the other sponsors, and then all the teal guys in general. And then lastly, shout out to my parents. They've been very supportive of me.
Let's go. Always big dubs for APA's parents in the chat. Big supporters of this guy since day one. And as always, APA, it's always a pleasure, bro. Nicely done on tying up the series. We'll see you tomorrow. Or when do you guys play next?
We face tomorrow versus AoE.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, sir. And thank you for joining me on the interview.
Of course.
All right, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be series numero 2 of the day with 100 Thieves Challengers taking on AoE Gold.